In early 2021, the general rhetoric that was being preached to the American public from the Federal Reserve was that inflation was transitory. Fast forward a few months to October, and inflation hit a multi-decade record of 6.2%, the highest in 30 years. Then just 2 months later, December reported a staggering 7% inflation, which was the highest seen in 40 years. With numbers like this, it's no wonder why many people are concerned about their financial well-being, as the price of everything around us keeps going up and wages remain stagnant. And in this video, we're gonna talk about this silent killer to your wealth and how to beat it, coming up. Welcome to the Journey of Finance, helping you level up on your personal finances. My name is Cedric, and today we have to talk about this ever-increasing problem of inflation and how it directly affects your money. We're gonna talk about what inflation is, why it is the silent killer to your finances, and talk about ways that you can hedge against inflation and ultimately beat it. Simply put, inflation is the rise in prices in the economy that negatively impacts the purchasing power of the economy's currency. It's when the goods and services get more expensive over time while the value of your dollar stays the same. Let's say you have been enjoying your daily $1 coffee from your favorite coffee spot for the past 2 years. You bring your $1 bill with you every day to purchase this $1 coffee in cash. And one day you order your coffee and present your $1 bill only to find out that they raised the price of coffee to $1.25. Your $1 bill no longer has the purchasing power for that 1 cup of coffee. That's inflation. Inflation is something that affects every single last one of us in one way or the other. Every time the goods and services that we use goes up around us, it devalues our currency, making it weaker. So you need more money to purchase those same goods and services. Now, inflation in the economy is normal and prices tend to rise over time. In fact, it can be a sign of a healthy economy to have a steady 1 to 2% inflation rate, considering the people and businesses in the economy are flourishing. But it's when inflation rises at a rapid rate in a short period of time that will catch people off guard. But since you and I are proactively educating ourselves, we don't have to be the victim of this silent killer. Now, before we talk about why inflation is the silent killer, let's briefly talk about what causes inflation. There are 2 major types of inflation that will help us to understand why inflation happens. We'll go over these at a high level. The first type of inflation is the demand pull inflation, which is the most common type. This is where the demand for goods and services outweighs the supply for these goods and services. An example of this is when the economy is doing well and people are working and making money, they tend to spend more money on things that others are spending money on as well. Because of the higher demand for goods and services, businesses and manufacturers will raise the price so they don't run out of supply. Included within this demand pull type of inflation is the fiscal policy or expansionary monetary policy, which is where the government will pump more money into certain segments of the economy or in the economy as a whole, as we've seen with the recent printing of stimulus checks in response to the pandemic. In fact, 40% of all of the US dollars in existence were printed since the start of the pandemic. That statistic should be alarming because with all of this government money printing happening out of thin air, it will lead to massive debasement of the US dollar. The second type of inflation is the cost push inflation, which is caused by the supply chain shortages coupled with enough demand to allow the producer to raise prices. We've been experiencing this type of inflation as well, as the pandemic has caused a big disruption to the global supply chain. I may consider making a video going more in depth on these causes of inflation and how it impacts our personal finances in the future, so stay tuned. So if inflation is normal, then why is it the silent killer? In the US, we're used to the prices of the things that we usually buy to go up a bit, and we're used to the value of real estate going up. But if my salary stays the same over time and my bank is paying me 0.1% interest, then well, I'm losing money. It's just math. Simply put, if your income is not increasing at least at the rate of inflation, then you are making less money over time. Also, if the money that we allow the banks to hold and make money off of doesn't give us at least the amount of interest to match inflation, we are losing money. If our investments aren't giving us a return that matches inflation, we're losing money. So many people don't realize this because as the prices of things are going up around them, they feel safe with their large sums of money sitting in a savings account, earning next to nothing in interest. So let's talk about ways that we can hedge ourselves against inflation and also beat it. In order to protect ourselves against inflation, we'll need to move our fiat currency, like the US dollar or the euro, into assets that will appreciate greater than the rate of inflation to be able to preserve our wealth and also grow it. Here's some of my favorite assets to do that. The stock market has traditionally been a great way to preserve and grow your wealth depending on how you invest and what you invest in, of course. If inflation is at 7%, then you need a baseline return of 7% to break even. Throw in capital gains taxes if you realize your gains, and that rate needs to be higher. If you want your stock assets to actually give you a true return on your money, then it will need to be above 7%. If your portfolio returned 10% in a given year, which is not horrible for the stock market, but inflation is at 7%, your real return would be around 3%, and that's not so good. If you're like me and you believe that the true cost of inflation is much higher than 7%, but rather closer to 10 or 15, then you have a much higher baseline for your assets to return to break even, and you need it to perform even higher for a worthwhile return. And in the stock market, that's not easy to do unless you have a higher risk strategy, putting your money into more stocks or aggressive funds. Another asset that could potentially perform better on a cash flow and return basis is real estate. This is especially true if you utilize leverage in your strategy. If you purchase an appreciating rental property using leverage, like a mortgage for example, where you put down 20% and finance the rest, then as the property appreciates and you get more equity, you are making a pretty decent return on the money that you put in, which is technically 20%. Your tenants pay the rest of the rent, which covers all of your expenses and the mortgage payments, and eventually you could pay down and pay off the mortgage. Once you pay off the mortgage, you essentially own the entire property for only 20% of what that property was worth at the time of purchase. Real estate has the longest track record and has proven to be a solid asset class to hedge against inflation and grow wealth. Another asset that is my new favorite hedge against inflation and store of value is Bitcoin, and for good reason. It's a new groundbreaking technology that's growing in worldwide adoption, and it's ultra safe and secure, and it's deflationary by nature as it's a scarce asset. Bitcoin is a store of value that is expected to appreciate due to the nature of its scarcity and global adoption and acceptance. Bitcoin, despite its volatility due to it being a new asset class, has consistently outperformed every other asset class by a long shot since its inception, and it's expected to continue to outperform. Not only are retail investors like you and me investing into this asset class, but high net worth individuals, CEOs, and institutions are beginning to realize the value of this digital asset, and they are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. MicroStrategy, a tech company, currently holds over 120,000 Bitcoin at the time of this recording, and Michael Saylor, the CEO, keeps buying and buying more of the limited supply. We need to wake up to reality. At the end of the day, we need to educate ourselves and wake up to the reality that the current inflation problem is not going away anytime soon, and our fiat system is inherently broken. Our excessive money printing is giving us a false sense of security and is only buying us more time to stay afloat. But eventually, stuff will hit the fan, and we need to protect ourselves by investing into assets that will preserve our wealth from rising inflation and will ultimately allow us to not fall victim to the silent killer of our finances. I hope you found value in this video and will seriously take into consideration how you'll choose to protect your wealth and hedge against inflation. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the rising inflation and how it's impacting you personally. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you found value in this video, then be sure to share it with others so that they can protect themselves financially. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.